Good morning, folks. It's 7:56 a.m. on the 7th day, 8th month, 2021. Right, here's where we're looking at a massive plume of smoke here. Of America, and this is not a little bit of area being toxified. And I'm going to give you a quick measure on that. Actually, I want to do it in kilometers. Excuse me a moment. And do that better. I don't know why it just did that. Well, it is a lot. Hang on. I'll just cut it right there. Right, that's 154,600 plus square miles of toxic air. And I missed a bit down here, San Francisco and all that. Not 100 and, that's a lot of smoke, isn't it? That's a lot of smoke. And that's falling out. And it would normally just fall out on its own, but if you've got particles in the air for it to cling to, or chemtrails, by golly, you can own that smoke. You can move that smoke where you want it. You can say hello to the Sacramento Valley and the fearless tomato. Remember those commercials? Well, guess what? And tomatoes ain't gonna be too tasty. Tough tomatoes even. Tough skins. Santa Rosa. My God, you poor folks. Stay indoors if you can. This is toxic air. Chemtrails have ingredients in them that have been documented in soil, hair samples, trees, in the cores of the wood for many, many years. Aluminum, barium, strontium, sulphurs, very specifically, are fire accelerants. When a flame comes into contact with them or an ignition source, they tend to go up quicker, hotter, and ignite more readily than a natural piece of wood that don't have that in it. Look at these chemtrails holding this smoke in the air off your coast. It's not like they're making rain to put the fires out, which can be done. There are processes to do that. It is terrible scene off the coast of the western United States today. Those are not naturally occurring cloud formations. It's not natural wisp of smoke doing that. And as we get in toward more fires, these big, thick ropes of chem holding the smoke in the air. And this stuff settles on the ground. For years, this stuff has been settling on the ground. For years, it's been washing out into the roots of the trees and being incorporated in its bark, incorporated in its rings. And now, the fierce fires that come from it are deadly. People often can't escape them. The firefighters and the smoke jumpers have got to be exhausted by now. Why? Because a geoengineering program that could make it rain has chosen not to. It's burning the planet instead. Burning our planet. Deploying fire accelerants over Oregon. They're coming for this section now. I do believe this forest here is done. Forests produce oxygen, right? And remove CO2. What's the quickest way to change a statistic? If I take the trees out, I'm going to change that balance. I will. And all the plant backs will be GMO resistant to this program's materials are spraying. Look at the smoke in all these valleys here, Nevada. That's smoke in your valleys. That's toxic air. Everybody's air is getting toxified that's underneath here. The fallout from this, or the rain goes through it, will be acidic. It will be toxic. It needs to be measured. I don't like to make false claims about anything, but I will tell you that's toxic. You don't want to be breathing that. You wouldn't want to be flying through it there. And you can see the EMF signature in the smoke. It's very plain to say. See the spikiness is here? No, it's a little shadowy, but if you go to worldview.earthdata.nasa.gov, you will watch these images for yourself. And you'll see that it's a sadness that's occurring. And I've had a suspicion for a long time that these fire smoke is also being moved toward the polar regions where the smoke can settle. And if darker snow will melt quicker. And then they could say global warming, global warming. Now look at Yellowstone here. Oh, this nasty smoke over the Grand Tetons. Which they look like some creatures, the Grand Tetons. I will have to show you. That's a whole nother topic. Oh my. I'm going to zip along here to, where else is it bad? Canada as well. Canada, you guys are copping it bad. Look at this chem in your smoke. Big plumes of crap. Weyburn. Moose Jaw. That's cool names. Where are you going? I'm going to go Moose Jaw. So you take your canoe in the swift current down to Moose Jaw and get you some Regina. There's your chem bomb plumes. There's your sickness mix, Prince Albert. There you go, North Battleford. Have it with an extra chemtrail just for taste. These are fire accelerants. They're falling out on your forest right now. And if these things burn, they're going to go up. They're going to go up quicker because of this fallout. I'm not going to keep this to a long video. I'm just making my point. And to make my point about the polar regions, allow me to show you the Arctic. This is the Arctic region. You're probably not used to seeing. This is where my hovering is where they say the North Pole is. Good job covering up the hole. But look at how that smoke this is from Russia. Has been directed over here. The smoke here has come across the Atlantic here and worked its way up to this side of the polar region. And as that settles, the soots and stuff, anybody who's been in the wildfires in Australia or in California will know that the wind very often carried soot and ash for very long distances. It was washing up on beaches. So this will fall out on the pole, making a black dust layer. That is a known terraforming method. It's a proposed terraforming method of Mars, actually. Was to spray carbon black over the poles and melt it, heat it up, change it. So you'd even see the shadows of the color difference of white to this over here. The Ward Hunt Ice Shelf. Well, when that sucker snaps, Greta will be doing a dance on top of that point. And how dare you? How dare you? So that's what I wanted to show you about that smoke. And the smoke over in Russia is not much better. It really isn't. Look at it creeping down here. This is creeping death, isn't it? So that's the only image you're going to get of that Arctic. And you got Antarctic as well, but I don't see any fires there. It's not pertinent to what I'm telling you. And even Russia is the same. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. But I have to make a correct point. Chemtrails and fires. Look at this fire section here. Chemtrails and fire. Now they're burning big time over in Russia. The amount of deforestation worldwide that's occurring right now is beyond an unacceptable amount. And I find these fires suspicious. Chemtrail. What's suspicious to me about them is look how evenly spaced. If you put a ruler down on your screen, you'll see the evenly spacedness of the starting of these fires, or how far apart the groups are. Very even. And that's suspicious to me. And it needs investigation. Because you see this black area here? That was once green. That's burned. That's been burned. Those have already been burned. My God. When will we learn not to burn? There's chemtrails in your smoke. These are fire accelerants as they fall out. And I'm not calling them sparkler dust. I was calling them fire accelerants for years, and that's what I'm going to call them. Sparkler dust is a specific mix in a specific proportion. And you have to have that exact proportion to be correct about calling it that. So let's be factual. They're fire accelerants. Same accelerant method being deployed here over the forest here as we've seen over Canada. When will we learn not to burn? When we learn to look and use our eyes to see the truth of what's going on. That geoengineering is real. Geoengineering controls the weather. And geoengineering is choosing not to put out these fires that we're seeing across the whole planet. Look how much of our mother's hair is on fire. Look at it. This is unacceptable. Be safe. Be vigilant. Big love. Peace.